Armed groups in the Democratic Republic of Congo have been fighting for control of the North Kivu province. The AU is reportedly ready to send thousands of armed forces to that region. There is also Mali, where violence erupted following the country's military coup. More than 200,000 people have been displaced by the fighting between government forces, Tuareg rebels and Al-Qaeda-linked fighters. Also on the agenda is growing tension between Sudan and South Sudan. AU leaders are hoping that the presidents of both countries can come to an agreement over oil revenues and their disputed border. Well, for more on this, I'm now joined by Jonathan Offei-Ansah, who's the editor of NewsAfrica Magazine. He is live in London. Thank you very much, Jonathan, for talking to Al Jazeera. So, Jean Ping says that the African Union should step up to resolve these different conflicts that we just mentioned. But can an organization that's itself plagued by infighting, that's arguing about who should be its next leader, really step up to the plate and solve all these conflicts?
Well, you are right. Before the AU as a diplomatic body, the continental diplomatic body, could help resolve the various conflicts on the continent, they need to get their own house in order. I mean, right now there's a division between the Francophone and the English-speaking countries in the AU. One, the Francophone countries supporting John Ping, who is from Gabon, for re-election as the AU chairman. Whereas all the English-speaking countries are also backing the South African Home Affairs Minister, Nkosazana Zuma, to be the chairman. So this has brought about a stalemate. And as the summit opened, I mean, yesterday or this morning, there were rumors in Addis Ababa, the conference, was that maybe there might be a compromise candidate. But after all said and done, the AU needs to get its own act together, get its own, put its own house in order to step up to the plate and solve the continent's conflicts.
Is it just an issue of, as you say, disagreement between the Francophone and English-speaking countries, or is there more to it? Is there perhaps a lack of strong leadership within the African Union itself? I mean, the idea, and this was championed by Gaddafi, the idea was that it would evolve in an EU-style regional body. But is that feasible? I mean, can that work for the African Union, and would it help improve Africa's standing on the international stage?
Well, if there is the political will, yes, the AU could evolve to become the European Union, the African version of the European Union, the EU, right? And the leaders, the current crop of leaders on the continent, need to realize that without that sort of unity, that commitment, that political will, I mean, the AU will forever be a talking shop,
right?
Where the leaders meet.
Now they're talking about possibly sending a force to the east of the DRC and Mali, in the north of Mali as well. They already have, 3,500 peacekeepers in Somalia right now, and those peacekeepers are struggling. I mean, the African Union has been asking for more support. So can they really, realistically, take on other missions, whether it's in the DRC or in Mali? Well,
having said what I've said a few minutes ago, I believe they can with international support. Right now, they are seeking the support from the UN Security Council, to set up, to send some forces to the north of Mali, and they want to do the same, in in the eastern part of DRC. Yes. So, having said all that I've said, if they get the support from the UN Security Council, I believe they could go a long way to help resolve, the crisis in the areas you've mentioned.
Okay, thank you very much, Jonathan, for talking to us. Jonathan Offei-Ansah, joining us live from London.